Welcome back, everyone. I'm Setharoth, and today we are doing one final Apocalypse mod video. It turns out there is an expansion to the Apocalypse mod that adds 20 additional spells. It's 4 spells in every school, and we're going to go through each one. I have not tested these out before, and they are made by a different modder. So they were made by a second modder that really liked the stuff from Apocalypse and wanted to add to the awesomeness. So if something crashes or bugs, my apologies. But that's half the fun of modding, is it's a bit like Russian roulette. Will this work? Will it won't? I don't know. We'll see what happens. But first off, we're going to actually start with a spell called Sense Vitals. This is a restoration-based spell, but I'm going to start with Alteration and just use Restoration as kind of a demonstration of how this other thing works. So, oh yeah, first off, let's save, because I have a feeling some of these spells are going to count as hostile. This one first, though, does not. So, Sense Vitals gives you a lovely little peek into... Hey, hold still. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Alright, so Sense Vitals gives you the exact stats of whatever you are hitting. It is a touch-based spell. It will give you their level, health, magicka, stamina, as well as their resistances and their armor rating. Now, depending on the level of immersion that you like with your game, I totally get if this does not appeal to you, because it kind of messes a little. It shows you the exact in-game stats of the character. So that's kind of depends on how fancy you want to get. But as you can see, you've got to get the angle just right to land the touch spell. This is Sorcerer, by the way, at level 35, if you ever wondered exactly how awesome she was. Less magicka than I expected, but a whole lot of health. She's also got frost immunity, some magic resist, and armor rating. Now, the reason why I picked this first is because the first alteration spell from this mod, I believe it's called More Apocalypse. I think that's the name of the expansion. I'll put it in the description below. But the first spell is called Crumple Armor. Now, let's just rescan this guy. Hold still. Hey, why is this not? Come on. Man, you gotta be right on to land this thing. Unless I'm missing something. Is it more of a ranged thing? This is weird. Does it only work on a guy once? Let me test this, make sure it's still working. Worked on the horse. Okay. Horse had 200 health. Did not expect that. Why is this not working on the... That's an odd bug. So can you only scan people once then? Scan... Nope. Worked on Sorcerer again. Okay, I guess we'll have to test Crumple Armor on Sorcerer. So Sorcerer, as you can see, has 77 armor. And we're going to use the Crumple Armor spell. I actually just realized that you can actually get to the descriptions right here. Drains half the caster's magicka on impact, lowering the armor rating by 150% of this amount for 43 seconds. So my raw magicka is 327, so that should total up to a lot of armor that is lost, and hopefully she won't take this personally. Let's make sure that worked. Oh, come on. Armor rating is still 77, so this is a ranged spell then? Nope, that worked on her that time. Come on. There we go. And her armor is negative 144. Okay. Alright, so that's a fun one, but as you can see... Oh no, the Crumple Armor spell, so to actually drop the armor of your target, is a ranged spell. I'm going to switch into first-person mode, make sure that's concentrated. Okay. Yeah, because it's supposed to... Okay, so on impact... When this spell actually hits the target, it'll take half your magicka to lower the armor of the target. So you just want to keep in mind that it's going to take half your magicka to land this spell. I mean, technically it's a novice level spell, so you won't have a whole lot of magicka to begin with. But because it takes half your magicka on a hit, you'd probably want to save this for if you have followers or conjurations that are going to be doing the damage, so you can lower the armor so your friends are the ones that are doing the killing. That's how I would use that spell, at least. The next one we want to dive into is called Spelltwist. I think this one was inspired by another one of these spell manipulation that we have in, let me see, so Spelltwine. Yeah, so you have Spelltwine at Adept, and then Apprentice offers Spelltwist. So you remember with Spelltwine, you could have a spell that it had 8 different options. So it would raise your armor, your magic resist, it could heal you, a number of things, but it only lasted like 10 or 15 seconds. So let's see what Spelltwist has to offer. The beneficial self-targeted spell in your left hand is converted into a harmful spell and applied to the target. That's okay, so it inverts the spell in your other hand. So in that case, let's try. Did they say it was self-targeted? A beneficial self-targeted spell. Okay, so let's try, what's a good? Fast healing. That's like a restoration touch spell, right? So Spelltwist should then take what should heal me and turn it into hurting her. Oh, no, it worked. Yep, her health she lost 50 health then. Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay, so any self-targeting spell can then be used on a target. Is this ranged or melee? It's ranged. Oh, geez. Okay, so let's brainstorm a little bit here. Oh, this is the wrong page for that. To the magic board. Ebony flesh. Okay, so this then would reduce the target. You can reduce the target's armor rather than buffing your own. That makes sense. A self-targeting spell that then does the opposite. So it's a buff. So then muffle would make things less stealthy. That seems kind of meh. I don't know. It's hard because most of my stuff is for this is my demonstration build. I don't have a lot of the vanilla spells that these are actually built for. Okay. So I guess those are the two, at least the first things that pop off the top of my head. Feel free to add into the comments any other self-targeted spells that you would love to use offensively. That's basically what it does, is it inverts the spell so that it is hurting instead of helping, whether that's healing or adding armor or what have you. That's Spelltwist. Next is Locus of Meditation. Now, I've read the description, but I haven't tried this yet, so I don't know how effective it's going to be. It creates a meditation zone for quite a few seconds. Meditate while holding a beneficial self-target spell in both hands to make it stronger and last 15% longer per second. A beneficial self-targeted spell. Okay, so I guess first off we're going to make a locus. Let's see. I guess under this tree is good enough. If there's fancy light magic going on, then doing it in the shade might actually look pretty good. So the Locus of Meditation actually lasts quite a while. It was like 400 seconds. Okay, so the tricky part is I'm not sure what they mean by meditation. Meditate while holding a beneficial self-targeted spell. So it makes it more powerful, so let's just use Iron Flesh. So that should boost me by 80 points. But according to Locus of Meditation, it's 1% stronger every second that you meditate. I just don't know how you... Oh, use Meditation Zone. Okay. You meditate on the spell in your hands. So every second that I meditate, my Ebony Flesh spell is becoming more and more powerful. Huh. Okay. So I'm just going to sit here for a little bit, and we'll give it... I don't know. How many seconds do you think it'll take for that to actually look... to make a noticeable difference? If it's a 1% per second and we stay here for 30 seconds, that's a 30% increase in strength. That might be enough to make the Ebony Flesh spell fancier than it should be, at least by a noticeable amount. I guess we will give that a shot then. And then you just move to stand up. That's when you stop meditating. Oh, there we go. I cast... Oh, that casts the spell. Oh, geez. Okay. That's an interesting limitation. Wait. If I cast it... Do I cast it now? I guess I do. It's... Because I didn't see it pop up on my feed, and I'm certainly not any stronger than I used to be, so... Use dual cast it, or what? Okay, let's have a look. What's my armor look like now? Okay, I'm not seeing any increase in armor. My armor class hasn't gone up, which is odd because I just cast Ebony Flesh on myself. So I should have... Okay, there's Iron Flesh. Improve caster armor rating by 80 points for 88 seconds. Well, it is lasting longer. That's 88 seconds. I don't know if... No, I think 80 is a little low, isn't it? Let me just double check. Ebony Flesh. Yeah, improves, that should improve me by 100 for 87 seconds. Okay, so that's a weird one. I do like the idea that you can basically supercharge a spell before going into combat, but notice that it's supposed to activate as soon as you leave the meditation zone. But you know what? Let's try it with a Conjuration spell. Maybe that will work better. You know what? I haven't even seen what a Leviathan is. That's what from the Triumphant Spell Mod. So we're going to do a little bit of meditation on Conjuration, and then we're going to release the Leviathan and see what it looks like. Yeah, the Triumvirate gives you, let me think, there's a little goblin-looking character at novice level that has a chance of disarming your opponent. Then there's basically a modified wolf that interrupts spellcasting. So if you use him against spellcasters, oh geez, yeah, he interrupts almost every attack. So he's great for locking down spellcasters. Then you've got the Ravagore. I used that on my last video as a demonstration, and it's basically if the spirit of a deer became a skinless zombie that ate meat and came after you, that would be a Ravagore. But I have never actually used the Leviathan spell because my character doesn't have enough magicka to pull it off. You cast the spell, it's 48%. Oh, okay. There's Mr. Leviathan. Okay, so it worked for the Conjuration spell, just not for Ebony Flesh for some reason. I don't know why. But that's our Leviathan right there. I think this one actually can paralyze and stun on attacks, but again, we'll go into that in more detail when we do Triumvirate. Alright, next is Spark of the Demiurge. I do not know what that does. Let's see, it's Alteration. Scroll on down real quick. Okay. Empowers the spell in your left hand, making it twice as effective, but it costs twice as much. Up to 3 spells, empty left hand to reset. Oh, okay. So it's like Akatau's Recital, but it supercharges whatever spell you have at the time, right? So let's see. Let's take Cloud Kill. That's a good one. So Cloud Kill, Expert, it takes 50 magicka to cast, and I'm going to supercharge it with Spark of the Demiurge. Alright, so first off, it doubles the damage, but it also doubles the magicka cost. So I'm going to show you the basic unmodified version. Notice that's taking, what, a quarter of my magicka? Alright, so we're going to supercharge that. Voila. And then, in the spirit of not sitting around and waiting for my magicka to come back, we're just going to do some chug-chug real quick. Alright, so then now we're going to try it out, and it should take twice as much magicka, but at the same time do twice as much damage. Oh, yep, that's twice as much magicka. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Lots and lots of damage. Many things will be a-dying. Let's see, where can I get a group these guys together? There we go. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that is doing a lot more damage than these original spells would be doing if they were not supercharged. Where's some more of these guys? Oh, geez. Am I out of magicka? No. There we go. You're done. Thank you. Alright. Well, that worked out. That worked out quite well. Alright, so you can do up to 3 spells this way. They're twice as expensive, but they're twice as effective. So they'll do more damage, but at the same time, obviously, they'll cost more. Where do you think you're going? You're going to play with me. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and bring them all back in the ever-popular Skyrim fashion. When you get bored, slaughter a town, and then reload like nothing happened. Pretend you didn't just let out your inner psychopath. Alright, so that's an interesting one. That one has a lot of versatility, right? You can take your 3... Oh, geez. Oh, dear Lord. You can combine that. So if you were to combine... Spark of the Demiurge? Yeah, so you empower 3 spells, right? Make sure that the 3 spells that you put in with Akatau's are the same spells that you empower with Spark of the Demiurge, because Akatau's doesn't have a magicka cost. They auto-cast, and they will auto-cast twice as effective, with twice as much power as they were before. So if you were to combine those two, you would have 3 highly powerful spells, like Cloud spells, Armor, Conjurations. There's a lot of possibilities with those two. Let me know in the comments below. I know a lot of people say Apocalypse spells are overpowered, So if you want to see a video about how to manage that so your playthroughs are still challenging despite using arguably overpowered spells or combinations that make you overpowered, feel free to mention that in the comments and I will do it. Alright, next we're going to check out Deliver Unto Oblivion. That sounds ominous. Okay, where's this? Conjuration? Okay. Oh no, where is that? That is, yep, it's Conjuration. Starts with the D. Jeez, I have so many spells that start with a C. Alright. Touch a corpse to destroy it. Improve your Conjuration spells by 75% of its negative health for 97 seconds. Okay, so I assume that means if it has 100 health and you absorb the body, then then it lasts 75% longer. It's kind of annoying when they say improve it by 75% because arguably the shattering majority of these spells are more duration based rather than just raw damage. I don't know, maybe your bound sword might become more effective, but you get the idea. Alright, so let's see. So if we're going to try that out then, how would we test that? We would need to start off with a basic Conjuration spell. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do a Flame Atronach just to start off. So our vanilla Flame Atronach, I think you can get the description up here. Where is it? Okay. So my average Flame Atronach currently with my current buffs lasts 5 minutes. Okay. So then our next chat issue will be finding a body, but if we kill one of these guys, all of them will come to kill us. But yeah, I hate to reset like every time I want to try a new spell, but at the same time, well, if I need a body... I'm sorry, Serana! It's in the name of science / a demonstration. Oh, he's not dead, is he? Okay, let's just speed up the process a bit. Oh, no, there he is. He's dead. Perfect. Okay, so that was... Send to Oblivion, Deliver Unto Oblivion, and we're going to combine, and then we're going to cast the Flame Atronach again and recognize the difference. Alright. And deliver the body unto Oblivion. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then we're going to recast the Flame Atronach and have a look at the result. 15 minutes! That's a 300% increase in duration time. So, oh geez, you could run a full dungeon off of one Conjuration at that point. Nice. And to be honest, just from a story standpoint, being a necromancer or a servant of death or a vampire that sends souls to Oblivion, like literally sends the bodies to Oblivion, I love that. That sounds so cool. And since we're about to go into Oh Holy Crapdom, because I just ticked off everyone, we're going to conjure the Mirror Specter. I do not know what that does, but we should probably find out before we throw it into a fight. Summon a Ghost of Shimmerine for a long frickin' time. Oh yeah, because I just buffed all of my Conjuration spells. Sweet. It copies the target's stats, skills, and resistances when it deals damage with its magical bolt attack. So it... If you've ever played Pokemon, it kind of reminds me of the Pokemon Ditto. It will duplicate the stats of whoever it kills, but it is just an adept level spell, which means it is going to be squishy as all get out and die fairly quickly. Alright, so we're going to have to clear the proverbial playing field here. Oh, jeez, that's going to be hard to get out of my head. Alright, let's just line up here on the side of this mountain, please. Yep, everyone take your spots. Thank you. It's 2 down. Alright, hopefully that will give this Shimmer Mist some time to show off. So he attacks with a magical bolt attack. Copies the stats of the... Well, I guess the adept level spell can't handle... Alright, we're going to have to just reload, because, yeah. I'm not to the master level spells yet. I can't take on 5 guards with an apprentice level spell. Anyway, so the Mist Specter. He duplicates the stats of whoever he attacks with a spell. So let's, actually out of curiosity, I wonder what his Sense Vitals looks like right now. Oh, maybe I can't. Although that spell has been touchy in the past. Huh. Okay. So in essence, when he attacks something, he's a mage, so when he hits something with his bolt, he copies their stats, skills, and resistances. I don't know if that changes his damage. Why not give it one more shot? I would like to see what he can do in a real fight. So let's just give him a little bit of action. Maybe if I can keep them focused on me for a while, he'll get a chance to do something. Oh wait, no, I would have just a sec. I forgot, I auto-cast a creature when I'm in trouble, so I've got to resummon him, if I can do that without getting killed. Oh jeez. For some reason my Shimmer Mist ran into the fight. Oh, he went melee? He was a mage earlier. Ooh, interesting. Okay, let's see if I can get up close enough to this thing to read his stats, or at least see what his health is like. Okay, notice he's lit up. He's not as ghostly as he was before. I think it's because he's... Okay. No, those look a lot like the stats that the Stormcloaks had. Interesting. So he does literally, like, ditto whatever he's attacking. That is so cool. Oh wait, so that means... Oh, okay, because this is the commander, right, of this Stormcloak group. It looks like he didn't copy the commander's stats, because I assume the commander is more powerful than everyone else in this little party. So it looks like the first thing he attacks, he duplicates. Which would be great for boss battles, right? That one dragon shows up, and then he can duplicate those stats and hopefully tank for a while. Because he copies their resistances too, which means that, you know, if the Frost Dragon shows up, the Shimmer Mist would copy the Frost resistance, and now you have a Conjuration that's immune to Frost. I could see that working out very well. Can't argue with that. That's pretty cool. Alright. Next is Mirror Specter. Wait, did I get confused? I think that was Shimmer Mist. They sound very similar. Okay, so that's Shimmer Mist. Enchantment granted to Shimmer Mist? Maybe I got confused between these two. So the Mirror Specter... Okay, the Mirror Specter copies the stats of the person... of the first thing they hit with the attack. Shimmer Mist is a ghost of an ancient Somerset. That's an elf, I think. Weapon is enchanted with the hostile spell in the caster's left hand. Okay, I got confused. This is actually Shimmergeist, which apparently got enchanted with my Cloud Kill spell when I summoned it, which is why he was cutting through bad guys like they were made of butter. Interesting. This hostile spell has 150% of the normal strength. So that's... Wow. Okay, that's awesome. So you can basically build your own elemental type attack conjuration right there. You know, whatever... If you want to put a Firebolt spell on there or a Poison spell, he'll copy it and attack. Okay. And then Mirror Specter is that's why this one looked a little different. My mistake. I got confused. So what we saw earlier was the Mirror... Shimmergeist was what we saw earlier. And the Mirror Specter is this creepy, ghostly looking guy that I guess just copies the stats of whoever he attacks. I don't know. We're going to try that once more. I'm not going to go through the full fight. I just really want to give this thing a chance to attack something. And of course my auto, I need to disable that auto summary. But at least this way. Okay. Alright, so he's loose. If I can find him, he's really invisible. Alright, there we go. Okay, he got his attack. Now I just want to sense his vitals before things die. Oh, I got him. Cool. Oh, whoa, that is a lot bigger than before. Remember, before he was like level 5. No, before I couldn't even scan him. The Shimmer Mist was level 5. So he really did copy the stats of the guy he attacked. Doesn't look like he picked up on the armor rating, but he did have health and stamina and so on and so forth. That actually works out pretty good. Okay, so there's your two spells right there. Your Mirror Specter and your Shimmergeist. Unbreakable is next. Let me see, let's read the description of that real quick. This is in Conjuration. I have a feeling it's meant to be combined with a summon. Fully heals a summoned minion, increasing its weapon damage for a little over 2 minutes. by a percentage equal to 40% of its missing health. So the more hurt your minion is, the more damage they will do when this spell is done with them. What I can't figure out is why I am unable... Okay, so Conjure Shimmergeist has to be done in the right hand. That's annoying. And Unbreakable will be in the left. Okay, so we're going to give this Shimmergeist another move, because I want to try out this Unbreakable regen healing thing. Alright, wait for him to take a little bit of damage. Oh, geez, took a lot of bit of damage. Okay, that's back in this annoying combination of 5 guys that all do a crap ton of damage. They're most of them. Alright, so we want to make this guy unbreakable. Okay, Unbreakable has been set. Let's see how well he... Nope, archers took him out. Alright, so stronger, but not enough to deal with, 5 guys at once. Which is fair, not crazy overpowered. But I do like that this Unbreakable spell gives you a healing option for your minion, especially your bigger, your Frost Atronach comes to mind, because usually you're using him to tank anyway. But also your more powerful Daedra, or your Storm Atronach. This gives you an option to summon your big, powerful minion. It might not be as effective for necromancers that use lots of little guys, like lots of little skeletons, because they're going to be a little squishier anyway, but this is definitely a useful heal for that one big monster that's backing you up in a fight. Okay, and I am trying out a new little trick called Immortal Mode, which actually makes demonstrations a whole lot easier, because your health and stamina still get tweaked without any of the obvious issues I was having before with not them ever getting tweaked. It made restoration spells particularly difficult to show off. Alright, so next we have Death Arc. Deals 15 points of magic damage. If cast on a corpse, your next Death Arc has a magnitude equal to 75% of its negative health. Okay, so Death Arc, you cast it on a corpse first to charge it, and then its next hit does damage equal to 3/4 of the corpse's negative health. Alright, so we're going to have to go find us a body. Oh, jeez. I should have a body around here somewhere. There we go. You have been chosen! Okay, alright, so the body's been absorbed. Next arc will deal 7 points of damage. I guess these storm cloaks are a joke! Who knew? Oh, geez, that didn't seem to do much. Okay, so... Alright, okay, I think I get this. So, Death Arc does more damage the more health the target had when it died, or the bigger the target, basically. So if you kill something with 200 health, and you're going to do an extra 150 damage with the next Death Arc. But if it's a bandit with only 20 health, you're going to do an extra, 12 damage, right? So keep that in mind. It is kind of an interesting choice for a novice level spell. And I guess when you're dealing with... at novice level, you're dealing with bandits that don't have a lot of health anyway, so that actually could work out great for an early game. I do like the idea of building a character that literally either sends corpses to Oblivion or uses them to charge for the next spell. That seems like something a necromancer might do if they were in a panic. Next, we're going to look at Morphing Blast. It deals 29 points of magic damage. If you hit the target with another spell within 3 seconds, your next Morphing Blast gains its magnitude and duration. So this is meant to be used in concert with another spell. I mean, I guess you could use like a debuff or something, but I'm going to be using Destruction. Okay, so we're going to test out the basic level Morphing Blast first, which did about half of the Stormcloak spell. Spell assimilated, so I assume that that's my Cloud Kill spell. And with my Cloud Kill spell being set off now, this should do quite a bit more damage. I would call that quite a bit more damage. That worked out well. Okay. So Morphing Blast is meant to be used in concert, right? So you hit them with Morphing Blast, that primes it, and then the next spell that you hit them with charges your Morphing Blast, so that it hits harder and lasts longer the next time around. I assume the more powerful the spell you're combining with Morphing Blast, the better the buff you get off of it, I assume, but it doesn't say as much in the instructions. Next we have Sorcerer's Bane, a bolt of raw magic that drains half the caster's magicka on impact. We actually saw that earlier with, was it the Crumple Armor spell? Dealing magic damage equal to 72% of this amount per second for 2 seconds. Okay, so you take half your magicka and turn it into raw damage. That should be interesting to check out. You have been volunteered. Oh, okay, so that killed you. That killed you quickly. Oh, let's see, am I even charging? Okay, so it takes, this is interesting though, because one of the things that I've noticed, and this is easier to show off in first person, so I charge up and it's absorbing a little bit of my magicka, but that 50% magicka reduction doesn't kick in, or the cost of 50% magicka doesn't kick in until you hit, right? So it's a little bit to charge, but if you miss, you don't lose 50% of your magicka. So I like that, because you know, when you have a spell like Incinerate or Firebolt that's very precise, particularly if you're panicking, and you can't get away, or you're just not as good with those single target spells, you miss sometimes. And if you don't have a crazy amount of magicka cost reduction, that can be really annoying. So this one actually, you don't lose. See right there, I didn't lose a bunch of magicka, even though I missed. But I hit, and it looks like, oh, I remember. So with these kind of spells that take half your magicka on hit, they still work if you're low on magicka, but they don't do as much damage. Right, so this is going to be just like tickling him rather than doing a crap ton of damage, because I don't have 50% of my magicka left to put into the next spell. But that is an interesting kind of a ripcord kind of spell. You know, if you're panicking or it's a really tough boss, then you can just why can't I switch out of that? Okay, so whatever Raw Force is, it can only be cast in the right hand. That's interesting. Let's go ahead and jump over to Raw Force and see what that does. Deals 72% magicka damage to nearby targets. Okay, so this is explosive. Any destruction spell in your left hand, when casting, deals quadruple damage to affected targets with 1 second. Okay! Oh, we're definitely taking you out for a test drive. Alright, we're going to combine that with Cloud Kill. Okay, so the trick here is you have to make sure to launch Raw Force first. It's basically it's a huge debuff, right? The next hit will do quadruple damage. Okay, for an AoE that's going to do quadruple damage, we're going to bring back the horde of Stormcloaks. The rebellion shall rise again. Okay, I'm going to have to re-pick my spells, aren't I? Of course I am. Alright, so I think, let's see, best way to do this would be to put both of the spells on Cloud Kill and then down to Raw Force. Okay, so let me make sure I've got Cloud Kill in my left hand. Okay, so you have to make sure to launch Raw Force first or it won't apply the debuff. Let's knock on the door. Alright, that ought to wake them up. They're going to chew through my conjurations real quick. See if we can get them all clustered together. Alright, so Raw Force needs to land first. Oh, okay. Raw Force is melee ranged. That's interesting. So it's an area of effect based on yourself. It does damage, but the real kicker is that the next destruction spell that hits these guys does 4 times as much damage than it originally would do. So the only real disadvantage I see to that is you have to be in melee range virtually. I mean, the blast radius on this thing isn't that big. Let me just double check here. Yeah, that's maybe 20 feet. I don't think it even hit this guy. But, I mean, you can find out. Oh, nope, out of magicka. Okay, so that is another... That's interesting. I like that not only does it debuff, but it does damage, so it's not... I don't know. So you only get the 2 spells, right? So if I have one spell that's just doing a debuff, I like it with something that can do multiple things at once, right? You only got the 2 hands. You want to get the most money for your activity. I think there's some kind of a catchphrase for that, but it's not coming to my mind right now. Anyway, so that's a fun one. The next destruction spell in your left hand that you cast with this thing You do have to hit him within 1 second, so it's got to be like a 1-2 combo. It's got to be pretty quick. So keep that in mind. All right, that is the last of the destruction spells. So let's go back over to the group before we slaughter them and see what we want to do next. So now we're on to illusion, which is a little subtler. Reveal detection. Let's see what that does. Illuminates nearby creatures and people who can detect the caster. Okay, so let's give this a shot. I'm wondering if this would be better to try out at night. Illuminate creatures. Yeah, let's wait for a bit. Come back at midnight. And try this again when I can actually stealth reasonably. Let's see, so that'd be what, 10 hours? 9 hours? 8? Yeah, it should be fine. Alright, so it's supposed to illuminate the creatures or people that can detect you. At least that's what it reads on paper. Let's see what that actually... Okay, so the odd thing here is I'm not actually... I have a mod, so in the upper right corner when I cast a spell, it should do something. It should show me the spell, right? So I can see that it's working. Huh, I wonder if there's... Am I missing something? It doesn't look like it's doing anything. Illuminates nearby creatures and people who can detect the caster. Okay, so I guess we'll just go into the middle of camp and see if that works. Ah, okay. So, is this meant to be used... Let's see. So this guy shouldn't be able to detect me because I'm behind him, but the guy on his left should be able to detect me because he's facing me. Oh, okay. I'm not sure how I feel about this, because if you're illuminating the people that are currently able to detect you, I guess it kind of warns you if you're thinking about stealing something. Or if you're trying to figure out who's detecting you at all. Like if you've ever been out hunting in a dungeon and that eye pops up saying, "You're detected," and you're looking around like, "What? Who?" You know? Then this spell could be helpful for that. But it looks like... I don't think this works. Okay, so it does work when you are not in stealth mode. Okay, so that gives you some interesting recon. And then if you get behind him and try it again... Okay, let's try if I'm stealthed. There we go. Interesting. Okay, so that's an interesting way to play with the stealth AI a little bit. It lets you know... I feel like it's a good way to practice. And it might give you a little bit of recon. The only thing that makes me hesitate about that is if you are in stealth trying to get away with something, usually if they can detect you, you're already dead. Particularly if you're sneaking around in a dungeon, right? But I guess if you were casing out the joint to see if you could pull off some thievery of some kind, that could work. Alright, next we have Scorpion Sting. Deal 5 magic damage per second for 20 seconds. That's 100 damage. That's not bad for a novice spell. While the target is not detecting the caster. Okay, so in that case, let's... You know what, I think there's supposed to be a Stormcloak Scout up here in the trees. Yeah, perfect. So I should be able to hit him and then stay undetected. Oh, geez, wait. Is this a melee spell? That would be different. Okay, let's give this a shot. Does it make... Okay, no. Let's try again.
Fight or die
well, this is awkward. Excuse me. Don't mind me. Okay. Interesting. So, okay, so that's quite a bit of damage. It has to be applied at melee range, which means I really like the name, Scorpion Sting. That kind of nails it. It's kind of weird that the target doesn't realize... I don't know if it's supposed to be like a paralytic or an amnesiac of some kind. It's interesting that they don't register... It didn't trigger combat, right? I mean, if you ran up with a poison dagger and stabbed the guy, the alarm would have gone out, and then all of these guys would be after my butt. But it looks like this is a form of a combat that doesn't start combat when they take damage. That is interesting. Huh. I love that it's melee range, though. That it keeps it from being overpowered and forces you to use your stealth, which is cool. Also, I guess technically if you use this spell exclusively, you wouldn't even need to use a one-handed weapon, right? I mean, it's melee range, does damage over time. You just got to keep your distance and let the spell do its thing. Not bad. All right, yeah, I approve. Looks pretty cool. All right, Iron Maiden. All right, I had a duplicate. I think there's an Iron Maiden spell in Apocalypse, and then the expansion had its own. And I'm pretty sure this is the one from the expansion. Creatures and people are cursed for 30 seconds. Deals 25 damage each time they attack or cast a spell. So if you're familiar with thorn-based spells in D&D, like someone hits you but you're covered in thorns, so it does damage to them, that's how that would work. It sounds like this spell works similarly. Is it when they attack or when they hurt you? Deals 25 damage each time they attack or cast a spell. Okay, I assume this is like an area of effect of some kind. Yeah, that's an area of effect. Oh, it doesn't trigger combat? Okay. Huh. Well, I guess we will give this a shot, and then ticks off some stormcloaks. I guess we'll just spam this thing and see if it actually does damage when they attack. Oh, okay, someone's dead. Okay, yeah, as fast as... Whoa. Apparently 25 damage per attack adds up fast. Huh. That was... Okay, what level spell is this? This is only an adept level spell? Okay, this is bordering on overpowered. I mean, it is a quarter of my magicka, and I'm level 35, so it's not a cheap... Whoa, is that ranged? Is this thing ranged? It's ranged! I didn't realize it's ranged. Holy crap. Okay, so it's a ranged spell with a huge area of effect. Look at the size of that blast. Let me see if I can find a better line of sight. Yeah, that's huge. Okay, so it's a debuff. Anytime they attack, they don't have to hit you. Even if they miss, it still does 25 damage. And every time they attack, they take that damage. That's quite a spell. I feel like if you're ever going to do a pacifist playthrough, I feel like that would be your go-to, right? It's just, if you leave me alone, you live. If you try to kill me, you will die. And technically, you'll be killing yourself. So, if you're going to do a pacifist playthrough, I feel like that would be the spell I would choose. Oh, no, I'm still got angry horses after me. Lovely. All right. Oh, that was an interesting one. I enjoyed that more than I expected. But it was very powerful. That is bordering on overpowered. Okay, dim vision. Reduces the sneak detection of nearby creatures and people by 80% for 45 seconds. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop back over to a living camp to play with. As you might have noticed when my sneak skill leveled up, this is not meant to be a sneaking character. This character is very much... I guess we'll experiment with this guy up here. I only have like 35 stealth, so it's really not... He's not very effective. But this should be ranged. Whoa. Wait. Oh, I'm still on Sense Vitae. Oh, that's ranged. Wait, what? Oh, now you work. Okay, so Sense Vitae. Oh, geez, it's ranged. Holy crap. This gives a whole new level of... Alright, just a little detour back onto Sense Vitals, or Vitae, or whatever the thing's called. Sense Vitals. With this kind of range, though... Oh, of course, now you're going to stop working. What's the accuracy? Something's... Okay, so the accuracy is a little hit and miss with this thing. But it does allow you to completely scope out from a distance what your opponents are like, what they're weak against, how much health they have. Interesting. Okay, sorry. Brief detour there. Let's go back to dim vision. I assume, so it lowers their stealth detection by a significant amount. I do not have enough magicka. Interesting. Okay, let's... I should have a couple extra perks. So let's rack on 50% illusion. And we'll make my spells silent while we're at it. Just a little bit of Ordinator to try and speed up the process. Whoa, that is a big spell. Okay, it hits. It's got an area of effect based on you. Apparently it doesn't trigger combat. And I'm in daylight, and this guy is not detecting me. Not to mention I'm jumping, he's not detecting me. So it actually, wow, that works really well. We're going to try this in the middle of the group here, though, and see if it sets off combat. Because if you can literally walk into a group and mass debuff their stealth detection... Okay, that's a bit overpowered. Like, for a thief, for example, or an assassin, you can run in, take out their stealth detection, and then just cruise in with 30 stealth and start slitting throats. But I guess for... Let's see if we can get a better view of the blast radius on this thing. I want to see exactly how far this reaches, because if you're in a dungeon sneaking around... Let's have a look. What does this look like? Alright, so I think it's about 20 or 30 feet. It doesn't look like it's ranged. I guess that's an interesting limiting factor, right? You can't just bomb that group over there and make their stealth detection suck. You gotta get close. And because of that limitation, I feel like this is more of a spell for if you're going to be stealing from NPCs or manipulating townspeople, or maybe you're a vampire trying to get some fresh blood without everyone else realizing. That might be a better time to use this spell. I don't quite see using this in a dungeon, because you already have to be pretty close to the people that you're trying to sneak up on in order to land the debuff. But feel free to try that in your free time, and let me know how it goes. Alright, that is the last of the illusion spells. We are almost done. Sense Vitals was the first restoration spell. Next is Compost. We'll have a look at that. So, restoration, that's the wrong calendar. There we go. Alright, touch a corpse to destroy it, healing you for 100% of its negative health. Huh. Okay, let's see. So, I kill something, he'll hurt me, and then I'll use Compost in my left hand to heal up. I'm going to have to actually get hurt first, but at least we know where a corpse is. Let's see, let's put a Cloud Kill spell right about there. She's got that guy. Oh, come on. Hiding behind a tree. A single tree saved them from a Cloud Kill of death. Alright, so I am hurt. I am hurting. I am up to the body. Compost. Ah, okay. That's interesting. So it pulls... The animation is kind of interesting, because you're like pulling restorative magic out of the target. I approve of that. Doesn't really work on living people, but it does work on corpses. So this, I've seen like 3 of these expansion spells actually feed off of corpses in some way. One boosts your Conjuration spells, another one makes your Destruction spells do more damage, well, your Death Arc spell in particular. And then this one actually heals you by the amount of health that the corpse had, which is a ridiculous amount of healing when you think about it. Like, if something has 100 health and it dies, then you can absorb it for 100 points of healing. That's pretty cool. That's not bad. So quite a few of these spells have to do with, I don't know, abusing corpses in some way. Corpses become things you can use to be stronger rather than just the result of your mayhem, which is interesting. Alright, next we have Tyrant's Tithe. We just have 2 more left. Let's see what this does. All the way down at the bottom. Oh wait, no, wrong little category here. Alright, down to the bottom, Tyrant's Tithe. What do we got here? Each nearby ally loses half of their magicka, and the caster gains 75% of this amount. Okay, so let's just chew through my magicka real quick. I've got a nice little spell for that. Alright, let's burn through some magicka. There we go. Alright, so... Oh, gee, wait. Oh, it doesn't take mag... Interesting. Okay, so you absorb magicka from your allies. That is very interesting. Does this have a magicka cost? I think it's an expert level spell, unless I'm mistaken. Oh, it's only adept. That is interesting. Okay. So currently, I have Ordinator, and one of my perks actually makes, I think, adept spells are free to cast. So this would have a spell cost involved for a regular playthrough. So you got to keep that in mind. Like, however much magicka you're hoping to gain, that would be offset by the amount of magicka that the spell costs. But obviously, because mine costs 0, I can just keep spamming this thing like there's no tomorrow. You do notice, you see how it doesn't seem to be doing much anymore? You got to keep in mind one of the other limits with this spell is that it takes half of the ally's magicka every time, right? So the first time I used this on Serana, I would have gotten half of her magicka. But the next time I cast it, only half of her magicka is left to start with, so then I only get 25%. And then the next time I cast it, I only get 12.5%. So it's kind of a ripcord for more magicka, but by the third time, you're not going to get much out of that. And I don't know why I'm accidentally using Cloud Kill instead of trying to... But you see what I mean? When I first used this, I was getting maybe 1/8 of my magicka back. Oh, that is funny. My natural regeneration is higher than what this spell gives you back after you've tapped out your ally. But particularly if you're running multiple followers, or even like a group of skeletal mages, and all of them have a lot of magicka, then you could start using your allies not only to do damage, but to feed your magicka stores. That's so interesting. It's like, I don't care if my skeletons are super weak, each one has 100 magicka, and I'm thirsty. Oh, that is cool. I like that it's not just this one heals you for this much, and this one heals you for this much. That's a really interesting approach to getting magicka. And it's an interesting cost, too, because then your ally doesn't have magicka and might actually need it. Alright, last but not least, Sacred Union. Bond with a target for 60 seconds. Caster and target grant each other 20 health, magicka, and stamina per second when within 13 feet of each other. Well, that's appropriate, seeing as how I just drained Serana's stamina. That's another one that I don't have. It's very high cost. But I think I might have just enough perks left to reduce that restoration cost by 50%. So hopefully that'll help. Oh, yeah, look at that regen. This is in combat, too. But it only works when I'm within 15 feet of her. Yeah, the regeneration wears off if we get more than 15 feet apart. Okay. So I like that. I feel like in most cases, if you are... So for example, I've got this mage character, and I'm very squishy, and I don't like being up close. So my ally will usually be more than 15 feet away from me, because I'm trying not to die, right? I want the bad guys as far away from me as possible, so I want my ally to be pretty far away, because she's dealing with the bad guys. But on the other hand, trying to recast Sacred Union here. There we go, I'm just experimenting with regen when we are far apart or when we're close together. Whoa, that is a lot of regen when you're out of combat. Whew, that is pretty. Okay. I'm regenerating almost as fast as I can cast this spell. And now that we're in combat, it's a little slower, but whoa, that is interesting. So I guess this would more benefit like a cleric or a paladin build, where you're wanting to be like side by side with your follower, rather than a thief or a mage build that would want to be further away and therefore wouldn't benefit from the regen. Yeah, see, as soon as I'm farther away from her, I don't regenerate nearly as much. Interesting. Okay. Alright, I think that's it for today's little demonstration. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Feel free to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know below, what was your favorite spell in this demonstration? Was there one in particular that you thought was really fun to put in a playthrough, or maybe one that was crazy overpowered? I look forward to hearing your guys' input. I think there's still one rabid horse over there that's trying to kill us. But you never know these days. Skyrim can be a crazy place. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Take care. Talk to you later.